Assalamu alaikum. I am Partab Lal, Assistant Professor of Botany. Today I am going to deliver the lecture on the topic Introduction to Botany. Biology or life science is the science of living organisms. The word biology is the combination of two words, bios which mean life and logos means study. This term was coined by Jean-Baptiste de Lemeric of France. The famous Greek philosopher Aristotle is known as the father of biology. For the convenience, biology has been divided into two distinct branches: zoology, which deals with the study of animals, and botany, which deals with the study of plants. The history of botany dates back to the origin of human civilization itself. The ancient man was an avid explorer of the nature and transmitted the knowledge accumulated through the experience to successive generations. The Greek botanist Theophrastus described about 500 plants which were being used as food or medicine at that time in his book Historia Plantarum, which is a monumental book count of botanical knowledge. On account of his contributions, Theophrastus is known as the father of botany. Some of you may ask, why should we be required to learn botany? A bit of thinking will show that plants occupy a very prominent position in our everyday lives. We depend upon plants for practically all our food, clothing, and shelter. It is the green plant that keep the air we breathe supplied with oxygen, the absence of which will mean the extinction practically of all life on the earth. Some plants like bacteria cause many of the most serious diseases of man. At the same time, they provide many of the medicines used to cure diseases. Plants also supply us with oil, gums, resins, dyes, rubber, alcohol, and material for explosives. Paper, the principal medium of the communication, is essentially a plant product. Timber is necessary for the construction of houses, buildings, and furniture. Furthermore, it is by working directly with plants and plant products that a majority of the world's workers are able to earn this livelihood. Plants are also of very great aesthetic value. Gardening and plant breeding are other aspects of importance of plants. Plants are living organisms. Like animals, plants are also living organisms and have all the attributes of them. Number one, movement. Though it is true that movement is more obvious in most animals than it is in plants, this is largely due to the generally accepted ways of regarding these two classes of organisms. When an animal moves, we usually realize the change taking place in its movement, yet when a flower opens, we do not consider the change appearance as movement. But in reality, the plant has moved just as truly as has a dog when it opens its mouth to catch piece of bone. How realistic plant movements are, one can realize in some motion picture like dispersal of seeds, growth of roots, etc. Growth. This is another characteristic of living organisms. It is brought about by the addition of new living material to the various parts of the organisms. The addition take place slowly, often very slowly, and cause the gradual stretching of the extending of the plant parts in which growth is taking place. One result of addition is the various parts of the body a plant or animal get further apart after it has been taken place. Movement brought about during growth is much more obvious in plant than in animals. Number three, nutrition. Living organisms resemble machines in that they are continuously taking use of energy in a kinetic form. This they do in moving, in growing, and in carrying out many all other vital activities. Since the living atoms are not able to create energy, they must get periodic supplies of it from the outside. This is done by taking into their bodies new food material which can be compared with the fuel supplies to an engine. The various food substances which are eaten by animals contain like coal and fuel oil a great amount of potential energy. They also undergo the same kind of changes during a very slow process of combustion with corresponding conversion of the potential into kinetic energy. Now, since energy cannot be created, there must be some vast sources of energy somewhere which can be drawn upon for the various requirement of the living organisms and for the driving of machines. Number four, reproduction. Living organisms possess the power of producing young ones like themselves. This process known as reproduction. Not a single non-living can do this, and hence it is an excellent distinction between living and non-living organisms. Number five, respiration. This is the obtaining of energy as a result of chemical changes within the organisms, the commonest of which is the chemical decomposition of food as a result of combustion of oxygen. This is not of practically obvious occurrence in plants and animals, but it is fairly easy to demonstrate that living organisms take in air, remove some of the oxygen from it, and increase the volume of carbon dioxide in it. Number six, excretion. Living organisms involves a vast number of chemical processes, including respiration, many of which produce substances that are harmful and are poisonous and moderately concentration. The removal of such harmful or poisonous substance from the body is called excretion. Usually, animals have well-developed excretion organs for the removal of the excretory material, but in plants, such organs are absent and excretory material usually stored in their bodies. Number seven, metabolism. It is the single most important feature distinguishing the living from the non-living. A cell is a highly organized mass of protoplasm. The continuity of life processes going in the protoplasm involve chemical transformation of the matter. The sum total of all these physiochemical reactions which bring about the transformation is called metabolism. These reactions are primarily of two types, anabolic and catabolic. Anabolism represents the biosynthetic phase involving manufacture of complex organic matter from simpler one. It is an energy consuming process operating in the cytosol. Catabolism. Catabolism represents the destructive phase during which complex organic molecules are broken down to release energy which is required for smooth operation of all cellular activities. N- Number 8, irritability. The micro environment around the organism is ever changing. To maintain their structural and functional integrity, organisms must keep on interacting with these fluctuating conditions. This ability of the organism to respond to external or internal stimuli still is called as irritability. This property is more pronounced in animals. Plants do their static mood of life express their reaction in the form of tactic, tropic, or nastic movements.